Kaylee Vivier, and my presentation is on why sign language should be a learning requirement. I need my notes. How did I learn to do that?
Where are they?
Okay, I'll
Oh,
do it like this.
okay. I don't know how you PowerPoint.
My issues are not enough people know sign language, and that makes it hard for the deaf community to communicate, especially in public settings. With COVID and mask wearing in the recent years, reading lips was no longer an option for the deaf community. Another issue is how hard it is to take up learning sign language and how expensive it can be. Over 30 million Americans over the age of 12 are deaf. They face many issues that we would never even stop to think about as hearing people. I think it's time we talk about these issues and the solutions to help. I have worked at jobs that require me to talk to customers and help them out. It's always made me upset when a deaf customer would come in and I wasn't able to understand or help them. I think a lot of people don't realize how frustrating that can be for them and for us. Not being able to read lips takes away about 98% of communication from the deaf community. The minimum dollar amount per session for a sign language tutor is $40. I looked them up. It was pretty expensive. And then you could take online classes, but those were sometimes over 100, and it was really, really expensive. And not many people have that kind of money to spare on a second language. Sign language in schools. This is probably the best solution I can think of is just learning it right away, getting it done. So, in the article, Easton second graders learn empathy in sign language. A second grade teacher, Hannah Haydu, said she started teaching her second graders to sign sign language to increase emphasis on social emotional learning. It started as a project, and then she thought sign language would be the best because they had a couple deaf students, and it made the students feel really good. So they started off with the alphabet and went on to the Pledge of Allegiance to eventually being able to sign whole books while their teacher would read to them. Hannah said learning American Sign Language helped the kids understand a different perspective and to realize how important it is to be able to communicate with all people. I think that they should start learning in kindergarten or first grade because it's easier to learn younger rather than older, so they get the hang of it really fast, and then they can become fluent probably around like middle school. I think it would only take a couple years if they're really steady with it. And some schools are actually starting to teach language to their elementary students. And I was really surprised when I was looking up articles at how many schools and colleges offered sign language as a foreign language course. This is like a part 2 about how more schools are offering it. High school students who are taking the sign language class in Warren, Minnesota say that it has exposed them to deaf culture and opened doors to communicating with others. That is from the article, Warren, Minnesota High School Student Sign Language Class Opens. Warren is a small town, is what I got from the article, and it said that they only had maybe 3 deaf people in the community, but that was like a lot for a small community, so it really helped. And in the article, Why More Lakota High School Students Are Learning Sign Language, Michael Clark writes that the sign language classes at Lakota East and Lakota West high schools are drawing in many students. Nearly 550 students are enrolled in the classes. They said they really liked it. It's interesting. That's one of the ones that they get to take as a foreign language class. And then, like I said, I was surprised and amazed at how many schools are offering or requiring sign language as a course now. I wish we had gotten the chance to do that as a foreign language. And my vision. My vision is that sign language is going to be taught in every school around the world, that almost everyone deaf or hearing is fluent in sign language, and that it's easy for the deaf community to communicate with others with confidence that they will be understood. I can't even imagine the anxiety deaf people get when they have to go into public, especially when they have to communicate their wants or needs. I think that should be changed. I think everyone should know that they will be understood everywhere they go. My call to action is to go check out the library, check out a sign language for beginners book. Try to learn a couple of basic signs that you think you would need to know to communicate with a deaf person. And if you are fluent in sign language, think about teaching a sign language class or becoming an interpreter. I've personally been trying to teach myself sign language for about 2 weeks now. It's very hard, it takes a lot of practice, so I applaud everyone that has the hang of it. Thank you for listening.
Good job.